It's a great privilege to be here with you today to talk about a subject matter that is very close to our hearts, that's very personal to many of us, very sensitive matter, very painful matter indeed. And yes, some of us have lived with some bitterness, and we make no apologies about that. We were a people in war, led into war not by our own wishes or design, but in self-defense. No apologies, Nigeria. No apologies to the world. But here we are. I'm sorry, I'm going to stand up, if you don't mind. My name is Onyeka Onwenu, and it's not the Onyeka Onwenu that you think you know, that you read about in the papers.
Rest in peace.
But the Onyeka Onwenu that was born and raised in Port Harcourt. That's correct. And the person who made that statement knows. When he says DK Onwenu, he's telling you where this person came from. My father was the first Arrondissement man in the Federal House, and he was representing a Port Harcourt constituency. He was the principal of Enitonia High School. He was a brilliant man, but he died too early. Thank you. That's my background. I'm also from Abia State. Since I am Adamazi, I'm from Imo State, Arrondissement, and I'm from Anambra, where my mother comes from. I can go there and live and do anything I want in Anambra. Nobody can say anything to me. I'm also from Lagos State. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I'm from Lagos State. I married a Yoruba man. I have 2 Yoruba children. They only paid 5,000 naira as bride price, so we have a right to demand more money anytime. 5 minutes going. Yes, 50 years after I fought the war. As a young girl, 14, 15, 16, 17, I was in that war, and I lost many relatives. I worked in hospitals. I carried babies who died in my arms. I treated old people who took days to die. People were dying out of hunger. Even our soldiers were dying out of hunger at a particular point. But thank God, we survived. You see, when my father died at 40, he was a politician and also a principal, but he didn't have much money. In those days, you had to keep your day job, even if you were a member of the House of Representatives. Yes, my mother, an Anambra woman, was a trader. Put your hands together for Anambra women. She was richer than my dad, so my dad would borrow money from her to buy the land, and he never paid back. You know how it is. And my mother dared not raise the subject again. At the end of the war, I could not go back to Port Harcourt. My home was abandoned property. Those of you who come from Port Harcourt know the story. A home that a widow, my father had just laid the foundation when he died in a motor car accident, on duty. A building that a widow, and living just adjacent to us, the Ikopus on Hospital Road. We could see you, we could relate. In fact, I thought we were related, because every family in Port Harcourt was together. You didn't care where they came from or who they were. Once you're from Port Harcourt, every parent had the right to reprimand another child that you saw misbehaving. It was a beautiful town, but we couldn't get back to it. So for me, the Civil War never ended. At the end of that war, my father, oh no, it never ended. Still going on. I had no family house. My poor mother went back to claim the property she was beating into a coma by people whom she had helped all her life and sent to school, because she's an Igbo woman, and now Port Harcourt belonged to another group of people. They forgot the sacrifices that the Igbos made. It's still going on. No apology has ever been made about that. The road that is now referred to Harold Wilson Drive used to be DK Onwenu Road, because of the sacrifice that people like the Onwenus, the Ikopus, you know them, the sacrifices they made in building up Port Harcourt. Here I am. So I traveled outside, thanks to my sister who was at Harvard at the time, who organized for the rest of us to come and go to school. respect, we all came back to do what? To develop Nigeria. I have tried, with the little talent that God has given me, to use it for the betterment of my society and my country. But can I tell you something? That if I were a Yoruba or Hausa woman, I would probably have had more patronage, I would have had more help and more support than I have got by my self-help effort to raise this country up. But I'm not asking anybody for anything.
Just listen to
I put myself through school. My widowed mother did her best, but I was working 2 jobs in America to put myself through school. I didn't want to take Nigerian scholarship because they were giving it to everybody, those who deserved it and those who didn't. And many of them were not even in school. I put myself through school. Wellesley College and the New School for Social Research. I have no apologies to make.